Hello, everybody. Happy holidays and welcome to a new episode of Legends Table on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network. I am Rafa, wishing that you guys had a very happy Thanksgiving. My thing with Friday after Thanksgiving is that I am trying to guess how long is the turkey gonna last until I get turkey omelet, turkey sandwich, turkey salad. But hey, enjoy the leftovers and enjoy this new episode of Legends Table. Joining us this episode is the one and only, my partner in crime, Booby Gibson, joining us. Happy holidays, Booby. Shoot it.
Yeah, I had to lead with that. They got to know the Goosey is in the building. What's going on, my guy? How you?
How's everything going? We'll be talking about the classic edition. I see you wearing the beautiful
I had to pull this one out
from
today.
This year. How do you like that one?
I just like the fact the court was a little bright for me. I mean, for me to watch the game.
Brighter than the cup?
I mean, I think so. Last night with the yellow and the orange, I'm just glad we got the W, but it was a little light. But I think I'm loving the fact that we back in the special edition jerseys though, just because the energy of what that was for me during that time. I'm excited to share that with the fans.
And we're gonna be talking about that with Booby, about the classic edition, about that team that created so much hype here, about the new opening for the games on the classic edition nights, and obviously we're gonna talk about that night that has become like a myth. How many threes did you hit that night?
5,
It's like
6.
every time I hear it, it's like, Booby, remember that night? That time you hit like 15 threes in 2 minutes?
I hope it keeps growing. Let it keep growing. 20, 25.
Daniel Booby Gibson joining us on the Legends Table. We'll be back with more chat with him on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network. Welcome back, everybody, to Legends Table from the Rocket Arena, specifically from the Freddie Mac Studios in the dungeons of Rocket Arena. Daniel Booby Gibson joining me, also known nowadays as Retro Booby Gibson, because
just by you.
The uniform you wore 20 and change years ago has made a comeback, and I have to tell you, I was not in Cleveland at the time, but I am amazed to see how much people love that kit.
Yeah.
Everybody's wearing it. Everybody's wearing the one. Everybody's wearing the new jerseys. But you take on the comeback of that uniform and that whole year, what that meant, that generation for you and the Cavs.
I just think back to that time for me. I was a 19-year-old kid coming to Cleveland, just trying to figure my life out. I'd never seen snow. I had never been away from Texas. So I just think about a scared little kid coming to a situation in a city that I was terrified of. And as soon as I got into that city, they embraced me from day one. And I feel like this is where nights like this happen. Throughout the season, they would bring me little plates of food in the locker room just to make me feel like I was at home. And so by this point, I was just locked in. And, when you get into a zone like that, it's become something different. But just the feeling of that birth of that first championship run in the city. It was just that first time in the city. And so many kids tell me shooting those threes made them fall in love with basketball during this time. And so it's just been a great journey for me, just being a country boy from Texas to now being able to pull the sword out before the game and just hearing the fans say my name and remember those moments. Everybody goes back to exactly where they were that night.
It's one of those epic nights.
Every time we meet, and it just takes me back there too, because that was a special night for me too. Nobody really knows, everybody knows, but throughout that season, I couldn't get on the floor consistently until the playoffs. So I wasn't expecting that night at all.
And you mentioned it's the first time that the Cavaliers made it to the finals. I always say that to make it to a championship and to win a championship, a franchise has to go through stages. We don't get to 2016 if we don't go through the Miracle of Richfield, that year that you were in, the whole thing with Larry Nance and that trio of stars with Mark Price and everybody else. But Brad Doherty, obviously, who's joining us now on the broadcast on the TV side. Yes. But my question to you is, Booby, making it to the final, we all know LeBron James was here. We all know the first generation, that first stance of LeBron in Cleveland. But what made that team special?
I feel like we represented, it was what I felt like the identity and the culture of the city, right? That grind, that lunch pail mentality, hard hat mentality where we might not have all the stars or the big names that everybody thinks about, but if you remember, we led the league in defense that year. So we was locking guys down, we was physical, and I think the beauty of our team was everybody understood their role. You know, I hear people talk like, oh, LeBron led a team of nobodies, but to him, we were everything because he knew Z was going to get that rebound and make that baby jumper. He knew Drew Gooden was going to set that screen and hit that mid-range. He knew Larry was going to play defense and on down the line. And I think we represented a culture of fighting and grit, and that's what the city when they see those blue jerseys, I feel like it takes them back to that moment of, you know, the birth and the fight where everybody counted us out because the Pistons had just won the championship. We had no chance. I think we started off the series 0-2. So it's like that year was just the cultivation of like what Cleveland is all about. And I'm just glad I was able to make some shots on a night that mattered to kind of, you know, cement that for us.
And like Booby says, you know, everybody says, oh, LeBron took this bunch of guys. But it was 13, 15 guys was at the time that knew what their role was and knew what they needed, each one needed to do to make it to the championship. So you were part of this whole comeback of the city edition, of the classic edition that we're celebrating in this season with
that's
the Cavaliers.
top 5 jerseys ever.
It is a cool kit. But my question to you is, remembering the intro video that you guys had in those days to what we have now, I think our entertainment team has done an amazing job with that video. Have you watched the whole thing?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you went back and like compared them. I like the way they kind of like mix them in though.
I love the DG statues are my favorite. So shout out to the editor for getting the DG layups. But even the song choice on that intro was talking about it's our time, you know, and that was just what it reflected, the energy that was pumping through that city. And I feel like we feel like that right now, you know. It's our time to get out there and show the city a reflection of who we are. Ooh, look at that, Sam and Booby in that corner. But yeah,
you got Booby on Spider shooting threes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I just love the fact that we pay homage to this generation or this series of basketball right here because right now I think that we all feel like we getting to that point. You talk about the road and the stages of teams as they try to take that next step and get to that next level, and that's kind of where we were. So it's nice to see them take on that identity.
And I love the fact that they brought the sword. And I know you always say that I have a beef with Sir CC.
Yeah,
but I love it when people come and pull the sword out. I don't want to see Sir CC pulling the sword. How was that for you? I know I asked you to turn around and like wave at me with the sword. And thank you for doing it. But how was that night to be once again on the court and feeling the love that this city knows how to give you? I got
goosebumps before. You know, when you warming up to play the game, you really don't. You just in the zone to play. But this time it was out of my comfort zone. I ain't never pulled the sword out. I didn't know if I should pull it slow and give him a chance. But as soon as he moved out the way and I could hear that Booby, when I felt that right there, I just went back into that mode and got everybody going. But just to know that all these fans just, you know, appreciate the injuries, the blood, the sweat and tears that you put out there on the floor, whether you won a championship or not. I'm thankful that I played in a city that just loves sports and they embrace their players. And they just that's why I left it all out there on the floor. Shoulder still banged up now, knee, ankle. But that's why I'm still in the city right now, trying to give back to the youth because they poured into a 19-year-old kid out here, and I'm trying to do the same.
And we'll talk about your efforts in the community on the next segment, but there's something about Cleveland that keeps people just loving it back. We celebrated with the kit for the Classic Edition. We're celebrating the beautiful colors that this city has to offer for the sunset and the sunrise with our City Edition. And we celebrated with what everybody has to offer, what this beautiful city has to offer. I am a Clevelander, adopted Clevelander. I know you have made Cleveland your forever home. And when we come back, we're going to talk about what Booby's doing in the community for this beautiful city of Cleveland, Ohio, when we come back on the Legends Table on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network. Welcome back, everybody, to Legends Table. Booby Gibson and Rafa with you on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network. Happy holidays. We hope you all had an excellent Thanksgiving, and here we go. Down the stretch we go for Christmas. The real NBA season will begin with the Cavs back again playing on Christmas Day. That's something that any player actually probably has in a bucket list to play on Christmas and at Madison Square Garden. But you and I worked something, we have a lot in common in terms of loving Cleveland and working together and having shows, but also because we also work together with the social impact and equity team here at the Cleveland Cavaliers. And if you don't know, you haven't seen it, the Cavs are very focused on demonstrating and showing the community that we are a for more than profit organization, and we try to do as much, if not more, of what the guys do on the floor. Also, we do it in the community, and that's something that we are very proud of, to be, Campy, working with the alumni network, and myself working as a community ambassador, and you, Booby, has come back to work for the city and work with your kids and tell us about all the programs you got going.
Yeah, man, this city, like I said, embraced me so much, and I just felt it in my heart to do the same. And so all the kids, when I was playing, I don't know if you weren't here around this time,
I was too young.
That part. I would wear designs in my head during the game. And all the kids would get the designs, and they would come to my camps, and they would wear these designs. And so I could see just the power of that impact of just being around and just being present and showing these kids that it was just a possibility, right? I'm 6'2", so they look at me, and they're like, oh, wait, I'm taller than you. So it kind of gives them that hope. And so I took it a step further when I retired, and now I'm working with Richmond Heights High School, a high school out here that has a tradition in winning championships. They lost a lot of their players, but it's not just about the basketball piece of it for me. It's really about showing up and letting these kids know that you don't got to go to the league to be successful in life. And that's where I've kind of taken it on myself to go into communities all over Cleveland and remind them that, hey, it might be hard right now, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And so I've embraced it, and it's become my life. It started off as me training kids how to shoot threes like Booby, but it's turned into me training kids just how to succeed at life and just keep pushing through its ups and downs. So thankful for the love given to me as a player, and I've tried to turn it into just loving the city.
As you pay it forward, Booby, and I know you love the city, and I know the city loves you right back, but how much of it is it stuff that you didn't have growing up, or stuff you wish you had in terms of inspiration, in terms of just having that role model or that person that maybe you never thought you had access to as a kid, but now you have kids having access to a Booby Gibson that played for the Cavs, that went to the final. You might not think it's a big thing, but for kids working to be basketball players, or maybe not, because reality might be a different thing, but education, I know it's a big part of your talk with the kids.
Man, that's Rafa. I'm glad you said that, because this smile that everybody has fallen in love with is that big because I come from nothing. And so that's why it means so much to me. I know what it would have felt like if, when I was struggling with something, if I had somebody to look to that looked like me, or that could give me that inspiration to feel like I could make it, but I didn't. I had to come up with it for myself. And so now that I'm in a position to do that for these kids, why not me be that guy? You know what I mean? Why not me be the inspiration where they think that, oh, these NBA players are untouched? No, I come from exactly what you come from. And my only superpower was my ability to work hard. It was just how much time I was willing to put in the gym. Now, that part right there, I can't teach. I was in the gym morning to night, but again, it was just all a part of just my will to do it. But when it comes to just showing these kids a different way and a light, I wake up every morning just trying to find new ways to inspire for that reason, just because of the things I saw coming up. And I just know you might not be able to get to all of them, but if you can get one with just showing up, to me, that's what it's all about.
And one of the most important messages that Booby always has to the kids is shoot it. Is that the message of the Booby, Booby shooting you? Like, shoot it, baby.
And it's just not threes. Keep shooting for success, right?
Yeah,
like life
baby.
And basketball is full of failures. It's full of them. You get in the game, Steph Curry, the greatest shooter of all time, missed so many shots in the game. But the gift is to keep on shooting. So for me, it's just I'm trying to teach these kids to keep shooting for success. You might be down, but you're not out until you quit, so that's what we teach. And
we thank you for all the work you do here in the community. Booby, speaking of no quitting, that team had a bunch of guys that just
dogs.
They're poster child of that thing, everything you just mentioned about just fighting, just going through it. But like between Anderson Varejão and
wow,
you know, you
dang.
mentioned Good, and you mentioned, you know, Big Z, who's the guy. Everybody that I talk to speaks of Big Z as like that big dude that helped so many of you guys just come up and stay afloat.
Man, just probably my best mentor. Didn't say nothing, a man of a few words.
Yeah.
But when he did say something, you listened, and one of the things he just told me was just to be a professional. Show up on time, always be professional about how you move, and that'll give you an opportunity to go far in this game. Regardless of how your game is, regardless of anything else, show up on time and be a pro. And I followed him and Andy around like a little kid while I was playing. But those guys were the best mentors you could have, because Andy on the court left it all out there, and I tried to do the same. And Z off the floor is now in the front office for the Cavs, which is something I aspire to do as well. So, yeah.
And we're going to be celebrating that whole generation this season with the Classic Edition. We're going to have an Andy Varejão bobblehead.
And I saw it, too. It actually looks
like
it actually looked like
does,
him. The hair and everything. They got it.
I have a Daniel Booby Gibson bobblehead in my house from one of those days. Yeah.
The Goosey. See, for Thanksgiving, we got the Goosies out. That's what we used to call this when we would make the threes.
Well, we'll take a Goosey and step out for this segment. When we come back, we'll ask Booby about that classic, mythical night in Detroit when we come back on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network.
Cleveland has had all kinds of trouble with Gibson for three. Yes! Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Away with it. If I'm Cleveland, I keep pushing the tempo. I do not set up. Gibson for three. My goodness. That's 5 from downtown. Booby, Gibson, unbelievable. It's this guy taking on star status here in Cleveland. And he's taking advantage of all these openings. He's knocking down every shot.
LeBron cross court, Gibson, 3-ball, got another one!
Minnesota have knocked off the Detroit Pistons, and they are headed to the NBA Finals to face the San Antonio Spurs. Cavalier fans! It's game time!
Welcome back, everybody. Down the stretch we come on this episode of The Legends Table. We are being joined by Daniel Booby Gibson. And we're going to get it all straight out on the table here, because everything I hear about that mythical night, it just keeps growing and growing and growing. So we'll get the story from the source. How did that moment come about, Booby? And at what point do you realize you were riding a wave the size of the Empire State Building where you could put anything on that bucket?
I would actually say it started like game 3.
Okay.
Game 3. I realized the Detroit Pistons, they didn't have no respect for me as an offensive player. They kind of just, me being a rookie, they kind of looked at me as somebody that they could maybe leave open or give opportunities to, because they felt like the stage might be too big or bright for me. But they didn't realize that I had been waiting for that moment all year, just waiting for an opportunity to get out there. And then if we remember the night before that, Bron scored the 29 or 30 points in a row. And so before the game, he comes to me, he tells me, hey, Booby, be ready to shoot. You know, he's told me that before. But on a night like tonight, I'm looking at it, not really understanding that he knew that they were going to double him. You know, he knew that they were going to take the ball out of his hand. So he was just like, be ready. So I came into it even more locked in, because I felt like he knew the moment. And he knew what it was about. And so, you know, when that first one, actually, when I think back to it, we were down 66, 67 when the first one. 6-7. when the first one went in. And then from there, it went 69. And then from there, it was just, to your point, I didn't snap back into it when I was if you watch it, my face never changed. Guys was trying to jump on me, but when I got to the free throw line to shoot free throws at the end to kind of give me like 31, that was when the fans started saying Booby, Booby. And to any of the fans that been trying to know where that name came from, my grandmother gave it to me. And so in that moment, everybody saying Booby.
Everything hit.
Whoo, I get goosebumps right now.
Because I know your grandma never got a chance to watch you play.
She never got to see a game, but I feel like that night she was definitely in the building. So when people come up to me and they talk about the moments where how they felt that night, it just brings me back to the moment that I felt that night. And so that's why I'm still here, man. Y'all can't get rid of me. You guys are stuck with me. I am now a Clevelander for sure.
So how many threes do you hit that night?
20. No, I went 5 for 5.
At what point did LeBron say, keep shooting it?
Woo, it's a clip. He like this. I told you to keep shooting it. I told you. And that was that moment right there. He told me all night, man, don't blink, don't think about nothing else. Let it fly. And I think I did an interview where I said that exact thing after the game. He told me, don't think about nothing else. Just let it fly.
Well, listen, man, thank you for spending Thanksgiving with us.
Yes, sir.
Hope you start writing your letter to Santa. I want a #1 classic edition. If Chris Kaiser is watching, if anybody in the marketing department is watching or retail at the Cavs Center, at the Cavs team shop, you can get all that. What size am I on basketball jersey? Do you know?
Maybe double.
Double X, please. I love that. I love that kick. The #1 I want, because I want to get it signed by this dude, a legend, a Cavaliers legend, and a Cleveland legend, Mr. Daniel Booby Gibson. We'll see you next week on another episode of The Legend State Ball on Rock Entertainment Sports Network. Shoot it, Booby!